Hey, just a heads up, this video may contain some potentially triggering content that some may find disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised. Also, in order for this to stay up, I have to ask you not to harass anyone mentioned in this video. It's just unneeded and it only exacerbates the issue at hand. Thanks and enjoy the video.
How goes it? Big Bad here. I can't think of a single website that's fallen off quite like Twitch. In the past couple of years, we've seen numerous other streaming sites popping up to compete with them, and it's for a good reason. From introducing the 50-50 pay cut, the dangerous negligence from events like TwitchCon, and the blatant double standards, Twitch has completely lost the plot in recent years. It's understandable to see why so many people have chosen to leave the platform, myself included. And now we can add defending terrorism to that list. But in order to explain that, I need to explain who Hasan Piker is.
We're waiting for sundown at night when we come out.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
Hasan Piker is a far-left political streamer and the second biggest political streamer on Twitch, right behind Asmongold. He's what people like to refer to as a champagne socialist. Someone who promotes socialist viewpoints while sitting in his $3 million mansion that he bought with his Sims Tier 3 subscriptions. I can say that word, by the way. Hasan gained infamy back in 2019 when he said that 9/11 deserved to happen. This started when he was reacting to an interview with Dan Crenshaw, a US Army veteran who served in Afghanistan. He was talking about how the US had established several military bases in different parts of the world in order to ensure national security, and Hasan had this to say in response.
This is so insane. America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them.
Like, we fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. We did. We fucking did. In a video game, whatever, hypothetically, politically, we fucking did, man. We did. Holy shit.
This ended with him getting a mere 7-day ban, which is insane. Gideon literally got permabanned for doing something as trivial as trolling Pokemon. But Hasan, justifying one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in US history, gets him nothing but a slap on the wrist. As a matter of fact, Hasan has only been banned 6 times in the almost decade he's been streaming. In that time, the longest he's ever been banned for was just 7 days. Hasan recently caught my attention when he began beefing with Ethan Klein over differing opinions on the Israeli-Palestine conflict. Ethan Klein is Jewish, and his wife Hila was born in Israel and served in the IDF. Ethan decided to invite Hasan onto his podcast. This ended with Hasan making a complete ass out of himself and completely crashing out.
And now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Iraqis are not Palestinian, you fucking moron! You racist piece of shit!
What?
Because Iraq and the pan-Arabic nationalist movements that arise out of
you are
Zionist
out of your mind.
Is not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot! You are so out of your mind.
And then
he does this a lot. Ethan mentioned that a streamer named Frogan made a tier list at TwitchCon ranking streamers based on how Arab they are. Let's take a look at this tier list for a second.
Oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro and it's your fuck you. I hope you get PTSD.
Frogan is controversial in her own right. She's Hasan Piker's lead moderator, and one of the people doing the content got telling Ethan to wake up while doing Fortnite dances, because of course these idiots like Fortnite. Frogan got on Ethan's bad side in the wake of the October 7th terrorist attack when she decided to tweet this.
Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America. But as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong.
Trying to justify October 7th, an attack where over 1,200 people lost their lives as a revolution, is completely psychotic in my opinion, and Ethan reacted accordingly by unfollowing her. She's also infamous for saying she hopes all US soldiers get PTSD, as if these people aren't putting their lives at risk every day so she can sit in her room all day and crash out over blue and white pixels on a screen.
I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. US military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. But like any other motherfucker, you're joining them. Oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
She also got another streamer named Tectone banned for calling her fat. Like, your friend literally said 9/11 deserved to happen, but you drove line at fat jokes. What sense does that make? Anyway, as I was saying, she made this tier list at TwitchCon that ranks streamers based on how Arab they are. Here's the thumbnail. Son is in S tier, obviously, and for whatever reason, Ethan is in F tier right next to Ben Shapiro for some reason. Which is weird, because last time I checked, Ben Shapiro isn't a Twitch streamer, nor is he mentioned in the video at all. A part of me feels like he was only added to the formula because he's a controversial figure who happens to be Jewish. Thus putting him next to Ethan would make them both look bad by association. Here's what the actual tiers look like. The top tier is labeled Arab and the bottom tier is labeled Loves Sabra.
Sabra, noun, a Jewish person born in Israel or in Palestine before 1948.
As we can clearly see, Ethan's the bottom tier. I assume this is referring to his wife, who, as I previously mentioned, was born in Israel and served in the IDF.
You guys are missing a category for Zionist.
The fact that Twitch can't even give this bit of a green light at all is honestly insane to me. If you replace the word Arab with white, this would look like something out of Wolfenstein.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate
I think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do.
Back on topic to Hasan, he was recently apprehended at an airport in Chicago and questioned because of some of the extreme things he's been doing on stream. Not only did he play a Houthi propaganda video on stream, he also decided to interview one of their members, even going so far as to compare him to Luffy from One Piece.
Okay, this is a stupid question. Okay, you can preface it with that. Does he know what One Piece is? Is it Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes, that's fire. That's so fire. Oh my god. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Yes, he really did that. Enemy fans are never beating the allegations. He also claimed that the shooting that killed 2 Israeli embassy workers was a false flag. He also denied evidence that Hamas insurgents sexually assaulted women and children on October 7th. His denial of these crimes can easily be debunked, as the IDF recently released footage of him interrogating a Hamas soldier who admitted to sexually assaulting a young girl in a neighborhood in southern Israel. Hasan is also friends with Baden-Panado, someone who we previously stated he would never work with due to him being a serial doxer. He previously doxed Drew Pavlo, someone who was almost assassinated by the Chinese Communist Party due to him speaking out against the occupation of Tibet and Hong Kong. But since Baden-Panado also supports Palestine, that doesn't matter anymore, so never besties. That being said, he is still really dangerous. He was responsible for the CPS being sent to Ethan Klein's house, and he simulated killing Ethan's wife in a Palestinian propaganda game.
Here's a clip of him playing a game looking to shoot and kill IDF secretaries. For those who don't know, Israeli-born citizens are required to do mandatory IDF military service, including Ethan's wife Ela, who was a secretary.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is the slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter, which is the glider level. And is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking Ozempic binge. They don't understand what's going on around them. They haven't noticed me. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary got...
A game that was so problematic, you can't even buy it in the UK. Sure seems like the British government and the British media are on the same wavelength. But that's a topic for another day. Hasan's rogues gallery also have a long history of trying to cancel people they disagree with by accusing them of some of the most heinous crimes they can possibly think of. People on the far left and far right will try and accuse their enemies of being groomers, Nazis, baby killers, or whatever else, because it'll de-incentivize their viewers from seeking out the personal group being accused and hearing their side of the story. As an example, when Mr. Peak's followers harass me for supporting Israel, they try to imply that me defending the existence of a Jewish state makes me just as bad as Mr. T-Lexify, a COD Zombies YouTuber who groomed and sexually assaulted an underage fan, while at the same time, they harassed one of my followers when they stepped in to defend me, and that follower they harassed was underage. On the flip side, when Necmux got his operator skin removed from Call of Duty for being transphobic, his followers began a harassment campaign on Activision social media accounts, trying to accuse them of pedophilia. Dr. Disrespect was also heavily involved in that situation, and he would later end up being exposed for grooming a minor over Twitch Whispers.
What we gotta do is uninstall the game.
As you can see, the far left and the far right have a lot more in common than people realize. They don't care about protecting the children. They just use this sensitive topic as a weapon to deplatform and slander their enemies. And to no one's surprise, Hasan and his goons also use this strategy as well. They accuse Tectone of being a rapist because of the actions of his abusive father.
And obviously he took some of the aggression out on me. About 2 days before he got sent to jail, I got back from soccer practice, which I joined because I wanted to make my dad proud. and I put an empty orange soda can on top of my trash can, and my father threw me to the ground and put a gun against my head, and he said, "Give me a good reason not to shoot you." And my brother Mike intervened, and he got me out of that situation. And once my father got sent to prison, I was just a little bit uncomfortable with my life. And so my brother encouraged me to get as far away from this family as humanly possible. Now, obviously, this isn't really anything that I just really want to talk about on stream. However, a really great Twitch streamer is just making me relive my childhood trauma because of all this, which is great.
What Tectone's father did was abhorrent, but Tectone himself had nothing to do with it. As I mentioned previously, he got banned from Twitch for calling Frogan fat. He also got banned for insulting 2 OnlyFans models when they accused him of being a rapist. It seemed like they especially have it out for him specifically. Maybe it's because he's been the one who's been the most vocal about their slander and how hypocritical it is.
Here's a fun tip that most Genshin players don't know. The age of consent is 18 years.
Now, if I had a nickel for every time I discovered that a Palestine supporter was a pedophile, I'd have 4 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's worse happened 4 times. On April 17th, 2025, Dan Saltman accused Hasan of being affiliated with disgraced rapper P. Diddy. Saltman shared a deleted tweet that Hasan allegedly posted back in December 2012, in which he says,
"I would love to hang in Diddy's seat. Ira Contarajan trickle down bang. Anything thrown his way."
So who is Dan Saltman? Saltman is a tech entrepreneur and the CEO of Redact, a piece of software that deletes social media posts automatically. Saltman would later go on to state,
"We appreciate you purchasing our software to delete these tweets, JK. Hasan is too cheap to buy our software. He must have manually deleted that the second the Diddy news hit."
Which implies that this tweet wasn't deleted automatically, but instead, Hasan went out of his way to delete it because he knew Diddy was guilty and he wanted to cover his tracks. Hasan also visited a brothel in Germany that exploits trafficking victims. He mentioned that he had sex with an escort back in 2010 at a brothel named Artemis in Berlin. A brothel that was raided by police in 2016 due to their exploitation of trafficked women. Hasan also attended the Trash Taste podcast, a podcast hosted by Joey Bissinger, aka the Anime Man, a Japanese-Australian YouTuber who publicly defends lolly. As you can see, Twitch is probably one of the most corrupt websites out there, and Hasan needs to embrace that corruption to thrive, just like every communist leader in human history. Amazon themselves are actually a pro-Israeli company, so it's only a matter of time until I step in to put a stop to this. But what can you as a viewer do in the meantime to fight back? Well, it's simple. Hasan is stuck on Twitch. If you tried to branch out and stream somewhere else, you will get ripped apart. So the solution is simply not stream on Twitch. Stream on other platforms like YouTube or Kick instead. That's what I've done. I switched to YouTube streaming mainly for convenience sake, but following with this drama, I've made the decision to keep all my streams on YouTube for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to return to Twitch until Hasan Piker and his supporters are permanently banned. And given that Twitch's CEO won't stop gooning for 2 minutes to put his favorite creator in line, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Before I go, I'd like to give a shout out to Pegasus. He's been doing a phenomenal job documenting this drama, so please go subscribe to him. I'd also suggest you go follow Yeet over on Twitter. Both of these channels have helped me a lot with the research that went into this video, and it wouldn't have been possible without them, so please go show them some love. Both of them will be linked in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload.